Have you ever experienced one of the most awkward moments a dog can create? You walk into someone's house, you smile, greet everyone politely, and everything feels completely normal. But then the family dog suddenly walks straight toward you. Before you even realize what's happening, the dog lowers its nose and begins sniffing your private area. For a few seconds, time seems to freeze. You feel embarrassed. You instinctively step back. Everyone laughs awkwardly. And you're left wondering the same question almost every dog owner has asked at some point. Why do dogs do this? Why do dogs seem so interested in smelling that exact place? It feels strange to humans, but according to scientists who study animal behavior, this behavior actually makes perfect sense. In fact, for dogs, it's one of the most natural things in the world. To understand why dogs behave this way, we first need to understand something important. Dogs experience the world very differently from humans. Humans rely mostly on vision. When we meet someone new, we look at their face. We observe their body language. We listen to their voice. But dogs experience the world primarily through smell. To Claude. To a dog, scent is information, and their noses are incredibly powerful tools for gathering that information. Scientists estimate that dogs have around 300 million scent receptors inside their noses. Humans have only about 6 million. That means a dog's sense of smell can be tens of thousands of times stronger than ours. But it's not just about having a stronger nose. The part of a dog's brain responsible for processing smells is also far larger and more advanced than the same area in the human brain. This means dogs don't just smell better than we do. They analyze scent in ways humans simply cannot. To a dog, every smell tells a story. A tree reveals which animals passed by earlier in the day. The ground can reveal footsteps from hours before. And every human carries a unique scent signature. When a dog meets someone new, their natural instinct is to gather as much information as possible. But instead of asking questions like humans do, dogs collect information through scent. And that's where things become fascinating. The human body constantly releases chemical signals known as pheromones. Pheromones are tiny chemical compounds that carry biological information. They can reveal things like age, gender, emotional state, and even certain aspects of a person's health. Humans usually cannot smell these signals, but dogs can detect them easily. Researchers studying canine behavior have discovered that dogs can detect extremely subtle chemical changes in the human body. For example, dogs can sense when someone feels stressed or anxious. When humans feel stress, the body releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones slightly change the scent a person produces. Humans cannot detect those changes, but dogs can. This incredible ability is the reason dogs are trained to detect medical conditions. Some dogs can identify certain cancers through smell. Others can warn diabetic patients before dangerous blood sugar drops. Some dogs can even detect seizures before they happen. Their noses are sensitive enough to detect chemical changes that humans cannot perceive at all. But here's the detail most people don't realize. Certain areas of the human body produce much stronger scent signals than others. Two areas in particular release a large amount of pheromones: the armpits and the groin region. These areas contain special sweat glands called apocrine glands. Unlike regular sweat glands, apocrine glands release chemical compounds that carry a large amount of scent information. For a dog trying to understand who you are, these areas act almost like a biological information center. From a dog's perspective, going directly to the strongest scent source simply makes sense. It's the fastest way to learn about someone. Within just a few seconds of sniffing, a dog can gather a surprising amount of information. They may learn whether you are male or female. They may detect whether you feel calm or nervous. They might even notice whether you recently interacted with another animal. Your scent can also reveal information about your diet, your hormones, and sometimes even changes in your health. To humans, this sounds almost unbelievable. But for dogs, it's simply part of how they understand the world. You can think of it this way. When humans meet someone new, We look at their face and listen to their voice. Dogs do something similar, but instead of relying on sight or conversation, they rely on scent. To a dog, smelling someone is like reading a detailed profile about them. But there's another interesting reason dogs behave this way. It has to do with how dogs greet each other. When two dogs meet for the first time, they almost always greet each other by sniffing scent glands located near the base of the tail. Those scent glands release pheromones that provide important information. Through scent alone, dogs can determine whether another dog is male or female. They can estimate age. They can detect health conditions. And they can sense emotional states like fear or excitement. This greeting ritual may seem strange to humans, but for dogs, it's completely normal social behavior. It's their version of saying hello. When dogs interact with humans, they often adapt the same greeting instinct. However, because humans stand upright, the closest equivalent scent source is located around the groin area. That's why dogs instinctively move their noses toward that location when greeting a person. They're not trying to be rude. They're simply following the same instinct they would use when meeting another dog. From the dog's perspective, it's just a quick introduction. And once they gather the information they need, most dogs quickly lose interest and move on. Of course, that doesn't make the moment any less awkward for humans. But understanding the science behind the behavior can make it easier to laugh about. It also reminds us how different the world looks from a dog's point of view. While humans rely on sight and language, dogs live in a world guided by scent. Their brains are constantly analyzing invisible chemical signals in the air around them. Signals humans cannot see. Signals humans cannot smell. So, the next time a dog suddenly walks up and sniffs your private area, try not to feel too embarrassed. From the dog's perspective, nothing strange just happened. The dog simply gathered information the way dogs have done for thousands of years. In the animal world, scent is one of the most powerful forms of communication. And in that moment, the dog wasn't being rude. It was simply saying hello in the most natural way it knows. Learning who you are, understanding your scent, and deciding whether you are a friend or stranger.